I know.
Ooh, it hurt.
Came right on off nice and clean. There we go. It's counting down, which means we're probably already live. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. It's your girl, Miss Eha, coming to you live tonight on our first episode with our new name, Journey with Trish. And I have with me today
Eunice Mingo,
of
ECM Counseling,
and
Mingo Matters, and Consulting with Efficient Coaching. I
the
mean,
coaching.
coaching and mentoring.
And over here to my left, I have
Evelyn Hall,
of
the Halls of Fairhope. No, realtor, Water's Edge, um, health assistant out, Martin Luther King, all the things.
all the things. All right. So hopefully everybody had a happy start so far to the new year. We are excited to talk to you guys tonight about checking on your people. For those of you who are already here, or if you come on later, even please like, comment, follow, share. Ija Jimenez, help a sister out.
Eunice Mingo, or ECM Counseling,
Or
or
Mingo.
Mingo Matters.
Evelyn Hall, realtor, Water's Edge Realty, or just Evelyn Hall.
There you go. So do us a favor so we can get to as many people as we can tonight. So the first topic we're going to talk about tonight is checking on your people. I've been talking about that a lot this week because one of the trending topics on social media has been that you are not, people are saying you're not a good friend if you don't check on your people, or you're not a good family member if you don't check on your people. And so that kind of, struck a little nerve with me because personally, and I'll start with my opinion, I don't think at all that we intend sometimes not to check on our people. I think that as a country, we could do better in being intentional and checking on our people. Um, the most sensitive part for me was when I was my parents' primary caregiver. And so I was at the house most of the time by myself. And people like friends, family members would say, well, I work. Yeah, I do know you work. Well, I got kids too. And I know that too. But I got all that too. And I'm still in the house by myself all the time. So I didn't have anybody calling to check on me. Anybody to even say, hey, can I bring you anything? Can I come sit there while you go to the store? Can I come just sit down and watch a movie with you? You know? So I think for me, it's very important. I do think, and I think me too, I can do a better job at checking on my people too. I know, Evelyn, you mentioned in the car, and you tell us what you think too. Our people circle isn't even as big as we think it is,
Mhm.
right? Because when you're checking on your people, it don't mean you got to call your girl from high school that you ain't seen in 40 years. She was your people in high school. That don't mean she really your people right now. So I'll let you talk a little bit and then Eunice chime in.
Excuse me. When I had read the topic, I was looking up that Trish had shared online. I was thinking, man, like, am I guilty of this? So I'm going over in my mind like all those relationships of people, like, because you can just I didn't check in on, but and then I think, what happened to those relationships? I didn't check on, I didn't check in on.
Sorry, y'all. Just trying to get to my comments.
This live. It be like that.
So I was like, man, what happened to those relationships? When truth is, you just evolve, you just grow, you just move, and nothing bad. You still love those people, but those are not the people that Trish is talking about. You still love them, and yes, you can check on them. But I think she's meaning like you're somebody who you is pouring into you at this moment, and you're pouring into them at this moment. The relationship can't solely be about you. It's a two-way street. You have to be checking on your people. And yeah, you know, those relationships were real important and pertinent back then, and they still are important. But there's nothing wrong with you that you've grown, and you both have probably grown. You both have different interests. Like I, I, I ain't going to the club and no more. So the interests change, viewpoints change, you learn, and sometimes you develop different likes, dislikes, and it's all good. Just make sure you're checking on your people when you want people to be checking on you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And as you said earlier, Trish, you have to be mindful of not only what you have going on, but you have to make room for your people. And sometimes it doesn't take too much. It may be a quick phone call, it may be a quick text, it may be a quick, hey, let's get together Saturday at 2, for lunch. What are you doing? Can I come over? I know I'm a person that really believes in quality time. And whereas, like you said, you were home most of the time being a full-time caregiver. One of the things I probably would have done was like, okay, Trish, I'm gonna come by the house. Probably wouldn't have said that much. I would have bought my computer
Or work.
and just done something. We talk, but sometimes it's that person's presence. And you don't always have to entertain to be there for a person. Sometimes just letting the person know that they can go in the room and just breathe a little while you're there, especially being a caregiver. That helps out a lot. When friends are going through things, do more than shooting a text every now and then. While texting is good, I don't think that's a bad thing, but sometimes that good old phone call, it really helps out a lot. Or a good handwritten note, or just a good card if your handwriting looks like mine. Send a card, like a really thoughtful card. But the key thing is be intentional.
And I do think that a letter sounds amazing, but I am very, very, I'm sorry, I am very, very big on lately. I want to call, and let me tell you why I want to call, because I know what Eunice sounds like, right? And I know what Evelyn sounds like. Astrid, I've been fussing at her because I want you to call me because I want to hear your voice, because I know what your sad voice sounds like,
Right.
and I know what your okay voice and even your happy voice. So I want to hear your voice. So you can't just text, I'm okay. I want to hear that you're okay. So I think it's very important that we check on our, and if you notice when I made the post or when I did the reel, I said your close friends or your close family members. Like everybody, you are not close to everybody anymore, like we just said. So it's the ones that are close to you that I do think we got to do a better job. I say all the time that there's no way for you to know that I'm sad if you don't even know what my happy looks like. We're not spending any time together. I don't talk to you. So when you see me, you really don't know me. You don't know me. So I think if these are your really close friends or your close family members, um, we need to get to know each other. Uh Transparent moment, when I was in school, and also I've talked about before when I first started Help the Sister Out, and one of my children was going through something. Don't you? I might get emotional with this one. One of my children was going through something. So I was home all the time, but I wasn't present, you know? And so we have to be present for people so that I got to see her face. And like now when I stare at her, she's like, "Mom, stop staring at me." And I'm like, "No, I got to look at you because I know what you look like when you are depressed. So now I can catch it when you are depressed." So if you are in your house and you're by yourself and nobody comes and checks on you, nobody calls you, then nobody's going to know. So a segue into that is the whole isolation. This, I think, is taken way out of context. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Isolation and withdrawing is not normal the way people are telling you that it is normal. Is it okay to need some me time, step away time, breathe time? It's even okay to have some I don't want to be bothered time. But disappearing from your family and friends for days on end is not okay. It is not normal. It is selfish. You think of having a child or some friends and you don't like you're trying to get in contact with them. They won't text you back. They won't call you. And so now, because you are in your feelings, now you done troubled your mama. Now you got your mama worried about you, your sister worried about you because you just don't want to be bothered. So you just talk about that first.
Okay, so you talking about ghosting?
Ghosting, yes.
Yes. So I think being a person, because as you said, social media has popularized a lot of things that are very dysfunctional. Like sometimes you got to be by yourself, which sometimes you do have to be by yourself, but it shouldn't be a norm, you know. And if you feel like you need some time where you're feeling like depleted and all of that, nothing wrong with that. You got to use your communication skills though,
Mhm.
because what I noticed is you run everybody off because you ghost everyone and they're feeling some kind of way. And most of the time, rightfully so, people can feel some kind of way when you like basically abandon them, and then when you get ready to play again, you want to come outside with your ball. It doesn't work like that because people haven't forgotten how you made them feel. So while you were in your feelings, you caused a whole lot of ruckus, I'll say, when you could have just communicated and said, I just need a moment. Or when someone texts you and you saw, because you saw the text,
Mhm.
you could have said, hey, I'm okay. Let me hit you back in a couple of days. I'm trying to sort something out. Use your communication skills because people love and care about you. So why would you do something to someone that you don't want done to you? And then, usually those people are the ones that usually say, now I don't have nobody here for me. No, you don't utilize the people that will be there for you. And if you don't have anyone, if that is in fact true, it's usually because, you have pushed everyone away because it's not a relationship that's respectful. It's disrespectful and dishonorable to people when you handle business like that, when you
Mhm.
ghost people. And no, I'm not talking about like somebody constantly disrespecting your boundaries and you just cut them off. No, I'm saying like the people who love and care about you that are reaching out to you, just trying to check on you, and you're purposefully saying, I'm not going to respond. You
Mhm.
know, that's very selfish. And you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. You ain't got to talk if you don't want to talk, but just communicate with them so they won't be worried, and so you can have people in your circle that will be there for you again when you need them to. Because at some point you're going to come around. Hopefully you're going to come out of that isolation, and you can't expect everybody to be the same way you left them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like you can't expect people to just keep sitting there waiting for
Mm-hmm.
you to come out of isolation over and over again. What you want to add to that, Miss Evelyn?
I was actually thinking while Eunice was speaking about I saw a movie and the movie was about ghosting and it was a romantic relationship ghosting, but the same concept. This person just would disappear, not explain, hey, it's not working out. And anyways, fast forward to the end, it was she ended up falling for somebody who she had already ghosted, not seeing the value in them. So sometimes there's value there, and you're being irresponsible with someone else's feelings. In the end, it might burn you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like in the end, there's something there, the relationship that you're actually both gonna benefit from. And if you feel like the relationship is no longer beneficial, it's okay to have a conversation. Or it's okay to end the moment say, our relationship is beneficial. I just need a beat. I just
Mhm.
need a minute. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Cause sometimes isolation is well, all the time. If you just disappear on me, I'm gonna think some you might get a welfare check.
Yeah, that's what. And
Right.
now, yeah, like don't go somebody to the point. So now I'm sending the police to come knock on your door to make sure you're okay. And then it's you so dramatic. You know what I'm saying?
But
Mhm.
I care
It's not.
about you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that falls in lines with emotional intelligence,
Sure.
like being knowledgeable of when I do certain things, how I make you feel. And
Mhm.
because I care about you, even though it may be my way, I need to make an adjustment because I care about you. And some people say, well, that's just the way I am. And I tell them, no, that's the way you act. But if I love Trish, oh,
Hallelujah.
but if I love Trish, if I love Evelyn, and I see that I'm doing something that hurts them, and they tell me, because you may not even know it, like I say, they may just be a way that I have that I've operated in for so long. And you tell me, hey, Eunice, when you do that, I don't like that. That makes me feel blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, okay, because I love you, I'm going to change that. You won't have to worry, maybe 2 more times, but not 3.
There you go.
So that actually brings us into what Evelyn and I were talking about. It was a question for me. If you are in a relationship with somebody, right? And this person has offended you in whatever way several times, or something is not working, you've set boundaries, they keep crossing them. And you've told them, like, it can go on for years. Like, and you finally get to the point and you're like, listen, this is it. This is my last time. If this happens again, I'm out. Like, I'm not gonna put up with it no more. So then when you finally get to that point, do I really have to come back to you and say, I'm out?
Well, no.
Yeah, because I already told you.
Several discussions have been had, and if this person still chooses to, and they have that right, they can make their choice. Just like you have that right to make a choice to get away from a situation that no longer serves you.
Mhm.
So all the discussions have been had, and the time has been given for behavior to change. So if behavior hadn't changed, then you got your answer.
I agree.
And that person has, they made their choice that I'm going to continue to act in the way that best serves me, even if it doesn't best serve them. But, yeah.
All right. So do we need to add anything else to that topic of check on your people? Have we touched everything?
Yeah, I think we pretty much y'all check on your peoples.
Mm-hmm.
Check
so
on
we
your
know.
peoples.
Listen. Don't let something happen.
Right.
And then the guilt sets in, or why didn't I? So if you're watching this, if like check on your people so you don't have to do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of people say, "Well, I have my own life." We all have our own lives.
Didn't you just say that, Nicole? You just said that.
What I said?
You just said everybody has a life. Everybody has something that's going on.
Yeah, we all have some people. Everybody has something that's going on, but you still have to be intentional of saying, yes, I got this going on, but I need to make sure Eunice is okay, or I need to make sure Evelyn is okay. Let me take 60 seconds just to make sure. Or actually, I mean, we carve out so much time for everything. We carve out time for health system. We carve out time for gym. Like, we carve out time for a lot of stuff. So you mean to tell me you can't carve out an hour once a month to go and spend some time with your girls, spend some extra time, take your mama shopping, take your daddy out to eat, just do something so you spending some time so you know what they look like when something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, while you're going to the next topic, I'm gonna ask Eunice, do you think it's a generational thing? Do you think, like, as time has worn on and on and on, and we've gotten more technology, more different things to occupy, busy up our time, that back in the day we used to check on each other more. We used to be there for each other. We used to be there for our elderly family members and check on people more.
Yeah, I believe so, because now everything is just at a touch, and our lives are so much different, because parts of our brains that we used back then are not even being used now, because we spend a lot of time outside. We spend a lot of time visiting with family. We spend a lot of times, just doing things with friends. And now it's like we can set up a virtual meeting, versus like spending time. And I know the pandemic had a lot to do with that, but even before the pandemic, how intentional were you with doing the things that needed to be done versus the things that you wanted to do?
But like, speaking of the virtual, and I know I said that on Facebook the other day, and I was being funny. Let's normalize getting my permission before you FaceTime me. Now, I do still want you to let me know.
Yeah.
But like, how many times has somebody, if Evelyn FaceTimes me and my hair is a mess, like, so if she wants to, if my good sis wants to FaceTime me, do I really have to comb my hair and go through all that just because she wants to FaceTime me? Because Alicia Todd, she don't care what I look like. Is she gonna wait till I take my wig off every single time before she FaceTime me? But I'm just saying, like, just stop. Like, we're so worried about our appearance and what we look like. Because you look like this every day when you're at the house.
Yes.
You know, I don't.
Superstar in the
I
middle.
Okay, this glamour girl over here. I don't.
I don't. So, you just pretty. Well, I know you pretty, but I mean, you just beat every day.
No.
Yeah,
I only put on
exactly.
makeup for work days.
We got to go through way too much just to be able to. You have what I'm saying. You have extra tools that you can use now, even if you can't get like if you have. FaceTime is like incredible because now you have grandparents who are able to still connect
Right.
with their grandkids who are living states and states away.
And
But
it's
now
such a
when they
blessing.
see, yeah, now when they
Yeah.
see Mima, they know who Mima is,
Mm-hmm.
and they get to touch Mima. But when she's not there, they're FaceTiming. So I listen, y'all use those tools. All right. So here is our next topic is going to be social anxiety. And you know what, help a sister out. That is what we're mission on, what our vision is to overcome social anxiety, one event and one sister at a time. So a lot of people don't know what social anxiety is. So I'm gonna tell Eunice what I'm gonna have Eunice explain what social anxiety is, and then I want to come back and I'm gonna help you guys see how some of what you're thinking is just somebody having a real bad attitude has nothing to do with them having an attitude. Go ahead.
Well, social anxiety has a lot to do with how you respond and how you behave when you're in social environments. So, social environments are where people are, and sometimes you can be overwhelmed with just going into public places where either it's people that you don't know or people that you may know or people that you may know of, and you get really anxious about being in their presence. We all have our little isms, our little things. And some people get anxiety about the way they may talk or because they judge themselves so much. If I went off the way I judge myself, I wouldn't even be on this microphone because I'm probably going to stutter. Um, I'm going to say ain't, and but some people have real anxiety about what other people may think of them. And they have physical symptoms sometimes in response to that, whether it's sweaty palms, rapid heartbeat, like their body responds to this fear or this anxiety that they have. And it's debilitating. It gets to a point where it gets to be so overbearing, or they may become so overstimulated that they stop going outside or stop going to social events because of this feeling being so overwhelming for them. So it's a real illness that has to be treated with therapy and sometimes with medication. So I hope I covered most
Yeah, it
of
was
it.
good. You wanna, because you've been transparent in the past about your social anxiety. You want to talk about it a little bit? No,
Mm,
absolutely. If you don't want to.
I have uh, your mind is a powerful thing. It
Yes.
truly
Yep.
is. Um I have been on my and let me tell you the piggyback back. Isolation does not help with social anxiety. You want to retreat and you want to isolate yourself, but it doesn't help. I have called my friend on the way to I've called my friend on the way to her house and I was in tears and physically like ill. And I knew that there was nothing wrong. And I have intelligence to know that I'm really, but I can't. It's really nothing that I can do, but I know that I should be able to get past this. And sometimes I've had to just make myself, like when you're sick. I was talking about in the car with Trish, I was sick. Not really sick, but not feeling the best. And when she got me out of the house, when I started to move forward and progress, I did start to feel better. And she was patient with me. She's always patient with me. I
She
do
is.
call her sometimes when I have been I have been around y'all and been freaking out. And Trish has 1 2 3 3 2 1 woo side me. Um, and it was an instance where I had to go back and apologize to people. I really was out of my way. So it can be debilitating. Just be
Mhm.
patient with it. Check on your people, and just don't isolate you. It just because anxiety can lead to depression. And these two are the professionals, not me. I'm trying not to give you a medical. I'm
Oh, we
just
ain't giving
speaking
no
from.
disclaimers.
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
I'm speaking from experience, and nothing said here is supposed to be used as medical advice.
Message.
If you're feeling any type of social angst, anxiety, depression, please seek advice of your medical professional,
There you
your
go.
primary care physician. But yeah, I think sometimes people do feel like it's made up, but it isn't. It isn't. And as I'm sitting here now, the more I talk about it, the more my shoulders are going up. I'm
Right.
trembling a little bit. I don't want to feel as exposed, as seen. And I think sometimes people be like, no, not you. But really,
Yes, me.
and then the more COVID, I think it started around my third kid. I remember, I don't know if it was hormonal, but I was in Walmart and I packed all the buggy was full. We left. I could not be in Walmart anymore.
Mhm.
And then it just never got, thought it would get better. I remember crying, going to the doctor, and they were saying it might have been postpartum anxiety, which is a thing I did not know. And yeah, it's real.
Yeah, and I think too with the things that we see in the news, like I'm not surprised that you had that happen in Walmart because we see a lot of things happening in public places that are really scary. So our minds, although we may not have experienced that directly, we saw it on TV. We experienced it indirectly, and we call that vicarious trauma, or secondary trauma. We experienced it as we saw it on TV. So it created fears. So now we're having responses to what we saw or what we experience. And so I'm not surprised because Walmart is a place. I remember I was in Walmart one time, somebody was setting fires in there, and I'm like walking around like, ooh, something burning.
I think I remember that too.
Yeah, I'm like, some smell like something burning.
Mhm.
Oh, I would have been in prayer, Lord
Yeah,
Jesus, if you
but
just.
so
And Mobile, in Mobile,
yeah,
we just had the New Year's Eve shooting, and so that is
that
traumatizing
causes
for
social
yes.
anxiety. It's like, okay, well, I won't be going there or I won't be going to any place like it, or if you do go, you're not able to be comfortable because your guard is up and you're like looking at people and what they're doing. So you're not able to enjoy it. So it really does take, therapy. And like I said, sometimes meditation too, but medication to help get you to a point where you can even start to even think about going in public settings.
Because life is about living,
Mhm.
and having a good time while you do it. Nobody knows how long we're going to be here, but we certainly want to have a phenomenal, fabulous time
Right.
while we are here. And so we don't want for people to be so traumatized that, I'm never going to this again. I'm never going to downtown again. That's not what we want. You have to address it, sit down and talk to a therapist about it, talk to your primary care provider about it so that you can move forward. And sometimes the way that therapists will help that is to make you go. Like we have you expose yourself, maybe just in smaller settings, and then work your way back up to it. But I want to talk to you about how some social anxiety can manifest. Because a lot of time when you see, because I know y'all do not believe after that lap dance at the party that I have social anxiety, but I really, really do. Um, and it takes me, like, when you see me, if you ever see me standing up talking, you look at my fingers, they're always I don't know, I can't see it, but maybe y'all see. So you'll see me in that too, like moving around my fingers, or my throat gets really, really dry, and then I start coughing, and tech won't let me out the studio. um
Right.
some people
We missed
actually
that, Evelyn.
have GI symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are some people literally who start to have diarrhea
Mm-hmm. Vomiting,
before
nausea.
and nausea before
Mhm.
they eat. Like, just the very thought of having to get up and get dressed to go to the doctor will start to manifest as physical
Mhm.
symptoms. Um, but I posted one day this week about wanting everybody to address whatever you are going through, whether it's anxiety or depression, relationship issues, whatever it is that may be manifesting as an attitude, as irritability. You need to address that because, like I said, You look on social media, the rest of the world has decided that in 2023, they are not putting up with your BS anymore.
Oh, no
Okay.
grace in
In
23.
2023, I am not putting up with your
They calling
BS
it that.
anymore. So you got to go address that because it's not an excuse for you to keep lashing out at people because you have these things that are going on in your life. And there are tools that you can use to address them. There are resources for you to be able to address them. So sometimes past trauma, irritability, physical illnesses, and you walk up to me and you say, "Hey, how you doing?" But like anxiety can be tension. Like everything in your body can just be tense. And you can't ration up a smile because you're so anxious. I want to be here. I'm having a good time here. But for some reason my body, and I'm different in different settings. Don't ask me why. If I'm at my own event that I put on, I'm much more comfortable than if Evelyn puts on an event or if Eunice, because those are the people that I know the most. If Anitra is watching, when I got home the other day, I was like, Anitra probably thinks I am so just weird because
she did.
Yeah,
she did. She really.
Because when she came up here, I was, "Hey, Anitra, how you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. But then when I saw her at your event afterwards, she was like, "Hey, I know you was here," and I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I was back in the back, but I'm looking everywhere else except in her face, and it has nothing to do with her. I love Anitra. It has everything to do with these other 50 people in the room.
Right?
I don't know them." A part of our mission statement too is that we want to have people have a good time, because when you have social anxiety, one of the first things you look for when you get somewhere are the exit signs.
Oh, I'm always looking for the exits.
Yeah, are the exit signs, and not only some people, they want to make sure they sit near an exit sign so you can get out if something happens. So I just
facing the exit sign,
so you can see,
and not with your back to the exit.
So you're just always on guard all the time, and being on, like, sometimes you can't even really enjoy yourself because you are so on guard. And so then, because you are on guard, right? Or you see me this place, and I was, "Hey, Evelyn, how you doing? I ain't seen you in a long time. Blah, blah, blah." We good. But now you see me at Eunice's place, and like this, you be like, "What is wrong?" You just don't never know what you're gonna get.
I don't know with me. Yeah. I'm fully self-aware. Don't do that.
You feel like you know, and it's true though. You really don't ever know what you're gonna get, but you would know if you knew me, right?
Right.
If we're close friends, you would know if you knew me. So when I see Evelyn, I know what Evelyn is. I can look at her and tell when, and Evelyn and I have only been friends now for 2 years, but we've been together enough and we talk enough for me to know when something. Eunice and I, most of our communicating is going to be via text. We've been talking on the phone a little bit more lately, but most of it is going to be via text. I can pick up in the text, "Let me leave her alone because she's tripping."
Yeah, I don't even be tripping.
Sometimes though, you gotta recognize when girl, Eunice, you don't never know what you're gonna get. With Eunice.
Every day is not the same.
Every day is not the same. No, but being serious though, don't be so quick to judge someone's character, or take it so personal and thinking that somebody doesn't like you or has a problem with you, because 9 times out of 10, it ain't got nothing to do with you.
It ain't even about you.
Yeah, these people don't even really know you to say that they don't like you or they got a problem with you or they funny acting. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that I ain't gonna say it's always like that. Some of y'all really got some problems. But I'm just saying most people don't.
Yeah.
So I would like for everybody to educate. And that's what Help a Sister Out is about, is educating on social anxiety, because a lot of people in our community, like, listen, Black people, I tell you, we are naturally anxious because of all the trauma that dated back to way back when.
Right.
We have always dealt with all of this stuff. Hey, Biz, we have always dealt with all this stuff So we're naturally just anxious. But I'm telling you, when you come out your shell, I used to plan these big birthday parties, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like a few months before them, I would cancel them. And my excuse would be, I ain't finna spend my money on all them ungrateful people. But it was an excuse because I really wanted to have a party. But now all of a sudden it's getting close and I'm scared.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there with all those people. It is so freeing now to be able to go out and enjoy people and have a good time. And you want to know the weirdest thing? I didn't have no problem with anxiety when I was younger and in New York. All of my anxiety started right here in Baldwin County. And it started, well, not I'm in Mobile right now. But anyway, y'all know
I
where I'm
said,
at.
don't put that on
Yeah.
Mobile, baby. That's
But it started. So being honest, like Black people, we got to do better because we are very, very women. We are very, very judgmental of each other. And experiencing that here as a 15-year-old moving to Alabama, you know, did all the boys want to talk to me? I was the new girl at school. They don't care what you look like.
You had that little accent.
It was,
probably,
yeah,
too.
yeah, I had an accent. I was the new girl. It ain't but 5 whole girls at the whole school. That's Black girls. So now you got a 6th one? Oh, shoot. You know, we already, well, I ain't gonna say that, but anyway.
But with
Yeah.
that, we can split that.
But I'm just saying, like, we do have to do a better job at not being so, we got to be more uplifting of each other and not being so quick to judge somebody. Being more comfortable saying, you know what? I just want, like, me and you, we good? We okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like me, we
We all right.
all right?
Yeah, we all right.
Most people are not, though.
Yeah.
Most people are not comfortable because then now you overthinking. Well, I ain't gonna go, you know, make her think I care about whether or not she got a problem with me. Why not? If it's somebody that you really, really want to build a relationship with, why not?
Yeah, and then you have to evaluate why you dispose of people so quickly. You know, a lot of times people, well, I'm not dealing with that. Oh, I don't have time. I don't have room for that in my life. Well, you don't have room for what? Because did you really give the person a chance? Or are you doing them a favor by not wanting to be around them?
Uh-oh.
Because that may actually work out for them, you know, but why do you dispose of people so quickly? You know, that's something that I think people brag on, but it's really something that they really need to look at.
I would walk by you and act like I ain't never know you.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That's what, you know, that's like the, I'll go, don't mess with me because I walk by you and act like I don't even know you. And yeah, I've done it. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've always been trying to grow or working so hard or diligently on growing into a better person. I'm getting older, you know, and I do intend on spending the next half of my life a whole lot better and being a whole lot nicer to people than I have been in the past. I know that I've written off being a part of a sisterhood. I didn't deal with females at all whatsoever. I had one person, and that was Karanda for the well here in Alabama, and that was Karanda for the longest time. And then I started working in Mobile Infirmary, and Shakita and I became friends. She's still my dog. And then Astrid at East Point, Amanda at East Point, and I hope it's not somebody's name that I've left out. But for but for the longest time, that was it. You really did not see me with any, and like I would literally try, and then I would call Karanza, call Trina, and just complain about, oh, I just tried to go out with this girl. Yeah, nah, miss me with that. And then all of a sudden, like I had to sit down and have a talk with myself. Do you really think that you're the only one that knows how to act? Do you really think you're the only one that can, like, just that? Do you really think that you're the only one that's nice and that's decent and that's not like out to get somebody? Do you really think you're the only good girl is what I'm saying? No, I'm not. There are a world full of good people out here. And how dare me walk around for that long thinking that I was the only one? Did I think I was better than everybody else? Absolutely. I did. I'm always transparent. And so I had to bring in, I'm not even going to, I guess I would say God humbled me, but what humbled me was I had my parents. And that's all I think I want. I thought I needed was my parents and my husband and my kids. And now all of a sudden my parents are not here anymore. And, then other friendships just kind of grew apart. And now I'm sitting here, I done, shunned the rest of the world away because they wasn't good enough for me. Now look at me. Sitting here crying, depressed, eating, gaining weight, lonely. It's not a nice life. And I know a lot of you out here there would like to pretend that you can live in this world by yourself and that you don't need anybody. I call BS on it like I do every single time because it's not fun. It's not a happy place to be.
And it's not a healthy place.
It's not a healthy place to be. So that is what I wanted to talk about as far as what social anxiety, how that can manifest into people not liking you because you may be a little bit socially awkward, weird sometimes. Because I know I told you I was just weird. I was just weird the other day with Anitra, and she may have picked up on it, and she may have not picked on it.
But why do you feel you were weird?
Because
I think you're judging yourself.
No, because I could feel I was different.
Yeah,
was
not
different.
weird. Yeah,
I felt weird though.
Yeah, because you're judging yourself and you put a name to it, but it's not accurate. You were just different.
I was different than I normally am. Okay. Y'all hear the therapist, right? Say that again.
No, I forgot.
She said you was in pain.
I was in pain. I was
different.
Anxious, and I was different.
Right.
Yeah, and like I tell my kids all the time, just because somebody doesn't agree with you or does something this way and you do something, it doesn't make them weird. It just makes wrong. It just makes them different. Look at me getting correct every time. I'm gonna learn something every time. That's why I surround myself with people who want me to be better. And that's what I want for you guys. We need to talk about anything else on social anxiety?
I think we pretty much covered everything.
Popping topics. Topics. Okay, popping topic is everybody on Facebook. Most people, y'all on Facebook, duh, because y'all here looking at me. We're on Facebook.
And I keep looking at my phone, and it's not, the camera isn't there. And I'm like, why am I not looking?
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
So, a girl or whatever posted on Facebook, I wish I had a man to participate in this topic. But anyway, if there's any men in the building that would like to participate in this topic, just let me know. And we would love to have a man join us to give their point of view on this topic. But anyway, I digress.
He said, get somebody else to do it.
So,
hey, Stephanie. Trish, thanks you for the stars.
I got somebody send me some stars.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for the stars. Stephanie. So the topic is gifting. Okay. So a girl was on Facebook and she texted, she put on there that she had been in and out. Cause you know me, I'm a medical provider. So I'm assessing this whole thing as I'm reading it. I've been in and out of a relationship with the same guy for several years. That's the first red flag, right? Mm-hmm. He told me he was going to buy me some Uggs for Christmas. He told me he had bought me. Not he was gonna. He told me that he already bought me some Uggs for Christmas, but he didn't. He lied. That's red flag number 2, right? And so then she said that somebody had been inboxing her or DMing her or whatever. And so that guy, she finally, responded to him. And so this guy ended up buying her a pair of Uggs. But she also said that he took her out to dinner, right? Mm-hmm. And it was something else. Took out to dinner and did something else. Well, anyway, and then at the end of it, she says, ladies, respond, in 2023, respond to your DMs because, you might get something good out of it, blah, blah, blah. And in 2023, I'm not putting up with no more, she was broke dudes and trauma dues. I agree with all of that stuff that she put there at the end, you know. However,
Comma.
listen, I am a woman. I do have girls, and I do like gifts. So I saw nothing wrong with what she said, but there were men and women, and she had to turn her comments off, but there were male and females that were like dogging her out. You know, what if if it was the other way around, you would have felt some type of way, and they were calling her a gold digger. And I'm like, over a pair of Uggs? 'Cause Uggs really ain't that expensive. And so I was talking to I was commenting, you know, you've been stopping me from commenting on
Thank you, Evelyn.
yeah, stuff.
right.
But this one time I did comment to somebody because I don't see nothing wrong with it. And so they were like, it was just that I felt like she really, really wanted, because it was Uggs, it made it seem like it was gold digging or something like that. And so my response was, hey, some people send flowers, some people send Uggs. What is the difference? What is the difference? Have men not for centuries tried to court people? You don't want to go out with them, or maybe that's what it is. Maybe we don't know what it feels like to be courted. And for somebody to send you flowers that you've been ignoring, that they, because they really, really want to take you out. So what is it? Is it the price of it? Is it what it is that is shoes that because, we all have different love languages too. She likes shoes. Maybe she don't like flowers. They both cost about the same thing. If you're going to get some good, we ain't talking about Publix roses. We talking about some good, out the flower shop, nice 2 dozens of roses. Probably going to cost at or near, especially if you get them from Fair Hub, they're going to cost at or near the price of them Uggs. So what do y'all think? I already know what you think. Let's see what Evelyn thinks about gifting. How y'all feel about gifting?
I still want to hear what
I'm
I
all for
think.
gifting.
I don't have a problem with the gifting. As you were explaining the story, at how you were actively reading and diagnosing, right?
She was
not assessing, not diagnosing. Ain't no diagnosing going on over here. Assessing. I think you had fair assessments, and if her assessments had been the complaint that I'm being ignored, I'm being lied to, I'm not being treated with value. But I think the fact that she kept saying the exact gift that she wanted, I started to question, is your value just on some Uggs or what? And I'm not judging, I'm not a professional, but what you said gave valid points. The way that the story was expressed it wasn't expressed in the same, I feel like maybe not expressed in the same way. Now, if you're with someone and you're telling them what your love language is, there's a reasonable expectation that this is what we're providing for one another, and your needs aren't being met. Sure, that's a problem. But I feel like the way that I don't know. I try not to be getting up in people's business in that relationship.
Listen, this was a social media post. I'm just going, we all grown here. Okay. I remember, and I hope, it shouldn't be no kids there, but I remember when my cousin, I was about 15 years old, and my cousin was telling me that when she met her children's father, that they had sex on the first night. Right. And I was like, are you serious? Y'all had sex on the, and she was like, yeah, when you get grown, you don't have to wait. And so, but it's true. We listen, we are grown people. And so we are constantly telling each other, sis, elevate. Sis, find you somebody that can help you. Sis, find somebody that can buy you nice things. So when somebody decided, listen, he took me out to dinner, you lied to me when you didn't have to. I would have rather you just tell me I can't afford to get you a pair of Uggs than for you to lie to me and tell me you bought them and you really didn't even buy them. Now, listen, do you feel some type of way that you can't? That's not really my problem. But I know that I do have 3 daughters, and I do want them to be with somebody that can provide for them. And I'm not going to call that gold digging, because I want them to be, I want them to be okay. So I don't understand when you guys get out there talking about people are gold digging. Because if that's the case, if I'm being honest, I've been gold digging my whole life, the whole life. Because I was taught that if I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody, it needs to be somebody who can provide for me. It doesn't even have to be that they're doing it alone. Like my husband and I, we both work. But to me, a provider at least means I'm doing everything I can to make sure my family is okay and all the time. And maybe I can't buy you this today. I would really, really want to buy you this today, but I can't buy you this year. That's totally fine. But I don't agree with y'all out there calling people gold diggers because now that they decide to level up like we keep telling them to, now what? Go ahead, Eunice.
So for me, I guess I take a whole different look on it. I mean, get your Uggs. But I think one issue didn't have anything to do with the other one. Like the other guy, whatever their relationship was and all of that, maybe they were off and she thought they were on. Maybe they don't have a history where or a relationship where he feels like he has to be that provider for her. Like what's that relationship really about? Now, she should have been happy she got her Uggs. But obviously the other guy is an issue, and she gonna be walking with him in those Uggs one day, or you know what I'm saying, because they're on and off. But so she should have really assessed her values, her value system rather, and her relationship with old dude who didn't get the Uggs, and he might have had them. I don't know.
Because maybe at that point in her life, maybe that's all she's looking for.
Yeah, and that's fine, But I think she needed to do some work too, But she can get her Uggs and she can wear them well, but she ain't have to shade the other dude.
She ain't say his name.
I know, but I'm saying so.
The commenter said, "What did she do wrong? She wasn't in a relationship,
right? They were on and off.
So why was he even brought up?
So she was throwing shade. No, but no, it was education. It was some No, I don't think so, because probably so, but there was some education in there, and it was a listen, sis. Those DMs, and because people online date all the time.
Yeah,
I brought up that topic too. People get married after when they've never even seen each other, but they've just been dating online all this time, and so. It's okay to date online, but you can't. Yeah, but DMing is not appropriate. I think we just get I just need to know what's appropriate and what not.
Yeah, and who made these rules?
Yeah, what is the rules? You got to pay for
matchmaker. There aren't any rules. A relationship is a marriage is a covenant between two. All of our opinions are just opinions. Yeah. And if she feels like the Uggs were that important, then they were, in fact, that important. And it's managing expectations. Like everybody's marriage is different, everybody's relationship is different. My marriage might not look like Susie Q's marriage. She might feel like I'm not valuing myself, or she might feel like my partner is not valuing himself. But as long as we are keeping the covenant that we have with one another and we are managing expectations of each other, then it's all good. If you can get married and not see, I done seen people marry themselves. They be on here marrying baby dolls. I saw on Instagram some man had a silicone replica of his wife made. So when she passed, he was not lonely and he had companionship. Y'all just make sure when you're in your covenant, it's a contract. Y'all do what is expected. Now them Uggs and costume. And
cost. That's the next thing. Cost, right? Because somebody said, I was talking to my other friend, and she said, I don't really like gifting because ain't nothing in this world free.
I think it boils down to a standard too. Like everybody's standards are different. Like it's more about standards than it is rules, and I don't think people have a clear understanding of what their standards are based off what they should be based off of.
Deeper.
Because I ain't always had standards. Let's just start there.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, and I think as we grow, our standards grow.
Yeah, I ain't always had standards.
Because you don't know what you don't know. So, yeah.
it brings me back to what Evelyn, I know, like, you're married. So you talking about covenants, but we just talking about not being like, and you are just dating. And I don't have to have any, I don't have a problem with somebody buying somebody something when you're dating. I mean, I'm not talking about you ain't gonna go. I'm not gonna accept. You come buy me
Yeah.
like a diamond ring or something like that. That's different. But for somebody to, because you spent $100 on me, $200, you maybe some people would think that I owe you something, and you can think that I owe you something.
Okay, so
but that doesn't mean
the
I'm gonna
gold
pay
digger
you.
part. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so that goes to standards. Like,
I ain't always had standards.
But we talking about now, back then.
I'm talking. This was a younger girl.
Yeah.
This was a younger girl.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah, she was not our age. And so, and
Oh,
I mean,
well, no
we want.
wonder.
Yeah.
was
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
want to sit here and say I don't want my daughters to have standards. That's not what I mean. But I'm just saying, I do think white people date a whole lot more than we do.
Why are you whispering like they ain't gonna?
Oh yeah, like white people.
I was not expecting that to come out. I was like,
because they do, and they date more than one person. But when we date more than one person, it's inappropriate. People calling you out your name because but how you gonna find, how you know if you got the right person if you don't even know, everything is not always love at first sight. So, I ain't saying you got to be out there just having a hot girl summer, but I think it's totally okay to date people. And I don't understand if somebody can spend $100 to buy you some flowers and you don't like flowers, why can't he spend $100 to buy you some shoes? That's all.
they used to say you can't buy nobody no shoes.
They'll walk away. She probably walked away. We sitting here still talking about it. She been walked out.
She walked with. Or they gonna walk with that other dude who they off and on with. He gonna walk him out, baby. He gonna walk the dog with him.
Okay, let me see if anybody else. Hey, Cecily. That's my new stylist right there. Cause I had gave Cecily some. I had sent you a seamstress, and so now I'm gonna be able to get me an appointment. Hey, Mr. Reed, that's my husband on here, y'all. While I'm up here talking about I ain't got no standards.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that, Chris? But I ain't in y'all business.
So yeah, that's what that was the hot topic of tonight. I wanted to see if anybody else had any
thoughts,
feedbacks, any thoughts on don't buy them what did this person say?
Don't buy them a watch either. They'll never have time.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, anybody else got anything to add to this whole conversation? Because I think that people just saw that it was a pair of shoes, that it was a name brand, and so automatically it became,
put a sour taste in their mouth.
Yeah, and I just totally, I pick up on a lot of stuff, and I just totally did not pick up on gold digger from that. What I picked up on was her saying, and he took me to dinner. So what I heard then was he paid her some attention. He spent some time. He did some of the things that she likes to do. And sometimes people will go and buy you what they think you need to have instead of buying you what you want.
Or they'll buy you what they want you to have to keep from getting you what you want.
Yes, and intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes when you're gifting somebody, and maybe this is just a personal thing, but I like to get what I want. I'm blessed in that I do already have everything that I need. So if there's something that I want, then it's something that I want. And I just don't think that there's a problem with wanting something, but I do have a problem with if I told you 10 times, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then you go out and buy me the exact opposite of it just because you ain't gonna tell me what to buy you. Okay, you might be right. I can go buy that myself. I can go buy that myself. But don't get upset if I don't like what you bought me, because I just don't like it. And you want me to keep it? And you didn't. I'm honest. Me and Chris and I have had that conversation because I'm a hard person to buy for. I know that part. I'm a hard person to buy for. and which is another reason why I really don't even like gifts. After all of this that I've talked about tonight, I really don't even like gifts that much because I already know what I want, so I can just go by that. But what matters more to me, my love language, is that you put some thought into what
Right.
you gave me. When my kids, that year when I had surgery, Chris had COVID, and I couldn't get up to go shopping. First time my kids, and so I gave them money to go and shop for each other, and it was the best Christmas. So they had to do it. They had to go without telling each other, shop for each other. And then they had to buy stuff. Now it was also the most reasonable Christmas. And then they had to buy something for us. And so they gave me a pillow that had my mom and dad's picture on it.
Oh,
that's the best gift I ever got.
Very thoughtful.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I like. So it don't, everybody's different. It don't excite me, for Chris to come home and give me some money, because Chris gives me money all the time. So that don't excite me for Chris to give me money. But different things excite different people. We're all different.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to add anything else? I think we've been on close to an hour. We done? Mm-hmm. Y'all gold diggers.
Let me get them Uggs.
Let me get them Uggs off you. Ashley, you good?
No, I was at. I think maybe if you could have communicated for her, it would have came off different. Because as you were assessing it, you saw that she didn't feel valued. She didn't feel like her time was. She didn't feel special. Now that sounds different than you need to check your DMs because he didn't buy me them Uggs. Like, we don't know what all was going on, but from that small snippet, you saw, okay. And he lied. We definitely glancing over. He lied. You ain't have to tell me you had them Uggs. You just bald-faced lied. So yeah, I think maybe if you had expressed it. You sometimes people can express.
And if it hadn't been Uggs, I
think
don't
that
would have been different.
And to me, I don't feel like it's the Uggs because because I'm like, if it's your value, baby, let it be a house. He didn't buy you a house or something. Like, don't let it be Uggs.
But come on now, because not Karen. What's the one name that took that whole house on Sisters?
I didn't watch it.
Not Karen. Karen is the crazy one that just had to.
We don't
pregnant.
Use the word crazy.
We don't use crazy. Karen is the off one. What is her name? What is her name? Danny. Not Danny either. Somebody on there tell me what's the one name who took the house? A whole house.
Go through the whole
and the whole car. Now that is the kind of gifting, because you knew you did not want this man anymore. Andy knows she did not want. What's Andy? What's her boyfriend name that is violent and controlling and jealous? Anyway, Andy.
Yeah, I need to watch Sisters.
Sisters is where it's at, honey. Andy took a whole house and a whole car. And she's a lawyer. She makes money, but she didn't make enough money to buy that condo. And then it turns out that Gary had bought that condo across the street from his office, and he was watching her through a telescope. He bought her a glass, what she called it, a fishbowl. He put her in a fishbowl so he could watch her. That is the problem.
But if they are trying to gift you a condo or a house, my phone number is 251-232-0858. I would love to represent your best interests. Thank you.
That was a good plug.
Woo!
That was a good plug. All right, y'all. I have enjoyed myself tonight. You guys, $3 million pen. Huh? Oh, listen. Yeah. PS Taco, our vision party, is going to be on January 22nd at PS Taco West Mobile. So if you look, Tech has been nice enough to put the flyer right there. It starts at 7:00. Tickets are available online at www.healthassistant.com. The tickets are $15, and that comes with all of your supplies, except for we do want you to bring any magazines or photo clippings that you already have. So we're planning, if you you come to a Hassel event or a Prissy event, we always want to make sure that we have a good time. And you're going to get some encouragement. You're going to get some motivation too. We're going to big each other up, and we're going to make sure we celebrate ourselves at the beginning of 23, because we already made it here. We're going to forgive ourselves for anything that happened in the past and celebrate anything that's already happened. And then we're going to encourage our way on through to the end of 23, because I know there's some powerful things that are going to be happening in this community for each and every one of you
Won't God do it
this year.
I
All
receive
right.
it.
So please go. And if you listen, I try not to do this, but it is what it is. So if you need to cash at me or PayPal me or whatever to get your ticket, I do have some hard copies of the tickets. There are some hard tickets available to some paper tickets over at PS Taco West Mobile. So whatever you need to do to get your tickets, go ahead and get your tickets so we can see you at the event on January 22nd at 6 p.m. PS Taco West Mobile. All right. Our hearts and minds are clear.
Yes, it is. See y'all at PS Taco.
See y'all at PS Taco. You know, we got to pray each other out. So here we go. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for bringing us together here tonight. We thank you for love. We thank you for peace. We thank you for strength. We thank you for an awesome 2023 and an incredible, phenomenal, fruitful 2023. Thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for life, health, and strength. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you. I love you. God bless you. Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Bye.